I had 30 days to save my biggest career opportunity. 30 days to reopen one of the most luxurious hotels in the city. And 30 days working with the one man I swore I would never forgive. Ryan Carter did not just humiliate me years ago. He remembered it. And the moment I walked into that hotel, I knew he had not forgotten me either. They called him a genius architect, perfectionist, a man who owned half the skyline and none of his apologies. By the time the doors of the Lux Harbor Hotel closed behind me, I realized something terrifying. This job was not just about planning an event. It was about surviving him, without losing myself in the process.
Before we go on, take one moment to comment where you're listening from, and at the end, rate this story from 0 to 10. Our goal is to give you the best.
The first time I stepped into the Lux Harbor Hotel, I was holding my tablet so tightly my knuckles hurt. The marble floors gleamed under the sunlight, glass walls reflecting luxury from every angle. This was my biggest project yet. The grand reopening of one of the most exclusive hotels in the city. I paused at the entrance and took a deep breath. I had worked too hard to let nerves get the better of me now. "Miss Reed." I turned to see a sharply dressed assistant holding a clipboard. "The team is waiting for you in the conference room." "Thank you," I said, following her down the corridor as my mind raced ahead of my steps. Vendors, themes, schedules. 30 days. That was all we had. When I stepped into the conference room, my professional smile slipped instantly. Ryan Carter stood at the head of the table, arms crossed, looking exactly the way I remembered him. Calm, confident, smug. "You have got to be kidding me," I thought. His eyes met mine, and his lips curved into a knowing smirk. Well, Tessa Reed. Long time no see." "Unfortunately," I said, dropping my bag onto the table with more force than necessary. The assistant, blissfully unaware of the tension crackling between us, gestured toward the seats. "Shall we begin?" I ignored Ryan completely and turned to the rest of the team. "As you all know, we have 30 days to deliver an unforgettable grand reopening. I have already secured preliminary vendor agreements, and I will be finalizing the theme by the end of the week. My goal is..." "Hold on." Ryan raised a hand casually, as if he owned the room. "Theme. Should that not align with the architecture? You know, the foundation of the entire project." I turned toward him, my jaw tightening. "The event is about the experience, Mr. Carter. People are not going to admire your door frames. They will be too busy enjoying the atmosphere I create." He leaned back in his chair, infuriatingly relaxed. "Right. Because balloons and glitter define luxury." "Excuse me." My voice sharpened, and I noticed a few uncomfortable glances around the table. "I am not here to debate with someone who thinks a blueprint is more important than human connection. This is about creating memories, not measuring angles." Ryan straightened, the smirk finally fading. "And I am not here to let an overambitious party planner turn my design into a circus. This space was built to speak for itself. Simplicity. Elegance. Simplicity." I let out a short, incredulous laugh. "You think people paying thousands of dollars a night want simplicity? Newsflash, Ryan. They want a spectacle. Something unforgettable. And that is exactly what I am giving them." "You mean a distraction," he shot back. "This is a hotel, not a theme park." Before I could respond, the assistant stepped in nervously. "Perhaps we should explore ways to combine both perspectives." Ryan and I locked eyes, neither of us willing to back down. Finally he sighed and addressed the team. "Fine. Let us hear her out." A flicker of triumph sparked in my chest, but it vanished when he added, "Though I doubt it will be anything practical." I clenched my teeth and forced a smile. "Thank you for the confidence, Mr. Carter. Now, if we are done with interruptions, I will continue." The rest of the meeting dragged on in a haze of passive-aggressive remarks and thinly veiled insults. By the time it ended, my patience was in shreds. As the team filed out, Ryan lingered behind. "You are really sticking with that theme idea?" he asked. I packed my things without looking at him. Yes, because it works. When it crashes and burns, do not say I did not warn you. I spun around, finally meeting his gaze. Why are you even here, Ryan? Should you not be off measuring ceilings or something? He stepped closer, his voice low and controlled. I am here because this is my project, my design, and I am not letting you ruin it. Ruin it? Scoff. You are delusional. He shrugged, maddeningly calm. We will see. As he turned to leave, I called after him. Do not underestimate me, Ryan. He paused at the door and glanced back. You should take your own advice. The door closed behind him, leaving the room painfully quiet. I stood there, my pulse racing. I hated him. I hated his arrogance, his certainty, the way he always managed to get under my skin. But as the silence settled, my anger twisted into something else. Something uncomfortable. Something I refused to name. My phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen and my stomach dropped. Ryan Carter has requested a private meeting with the hotel owner. He is pitching an alternative plan. I stared at the message, my grip tightening around the phone. So this was how he wanted to play it. I stormed into the hotel atrium with my phone pressed to my ear, my patience hanging by a thread. No, I snapped into the receiver, weaving past staff members. I specifically said peonies, not lilies. I do not care if you think lilies are more elegant. I need this fixed by tomorrow. I ended the call and exhaled sharply. One problem down. 100 more to go. That was when I saw Ryan. He stood in the center of the atrium, arms crossed, looking entirely too pleased with himself. Rough morning, he asked. Are you here for a reason, I said. Or are you just standing around while someone else does your job? He pushed off the column and walked toward me, completely unbothered. Actually, I am here for a reason. I just sent an updated floor plan to the contractors. You are welcome. My steps faltered. What floor plan? The one that fixes the glaring flaws in your original setup, he said, lifting his tablet. You were trying to cram too many tables into the ballroom, so I made adjustments. You did what? My voice echoed in the vast space. You had no right to touch my layout. He shrugged. It was inefficient. You should be thanking me. Thanking you. I stepped closer, jabbing a finger at his shoulder. Do you have any idea how much work you just undid? Vendors, caterers, lighting crews. Everyone was working off that plan. Now I have to call them all back. Or, he said calmly, you could go with my version. It is better. I let out a short, disbelieving laugh. Better. Your version ignores guest flow completely. This is an event, Ryan. Not one of your lifeless architectural models. Lifeless. His eyes narrowed. At least I care about functionality. Your design was chaotic. It was dynamic. Dynamic is just a polite word for disorganized. Before I could fire back, a voice cut through the tension. What is going on here? Mr. Wallace approached us. His expression already tired. Just a small disagreement, Ryan said smoothly. Small? Yes. He changed the floor plan without consulting me. Mr. Wallace pinched the bridge of his nose. I do not care whose fault it is. What I care about is this reopening going smoothly. If you two cannot work together, I will replace you both. My chest tightened. No excuses, he continued. From now on, you communicate before making changes. You work together. Is that clear? Crystal clear, I muttered, glaring at Ryan. Good, Mr. Wallace said. I want updates from both of you by the end of the day. As he walked away, I turned on Ryan. This is your fault. My fault. He raised an eyebrow. You are the one who refuses to compromise. You went behind my back. I improved your plan. I closed my eyes and counted to 3. Fine. If we are doing this, we set rules. Rule 1. No unilateral decisions. Fair, he said. Rule 2. No public shouting. It reflects poorly on you. My jaw clenched. Agreed. Rule 3. Respect each other's expertise. Sure, he said lightly. As long as you remember mine is actually worth respecting. I shot him a look, sharp enough to cut a glass. Do you ever stop being insufferable? Not when it is this entertaining, he replied. I turned away before I said something I would regret. I will send you my vendor schedule. Try not to sabotage that too. No promises, he called after me. The rest of the day blurred into tense meetings and clipped exchanges. By the time I finally sat down in my office, exhaustion weighed on my shoulders. My phone vibrated. I opened the email and my stomach dropped. Revised budget distribution. Approval needed. I skimmed the document, my blood boiling. My floral budget had been slashed in half. Without thinking, I grabbed my phone and dialed his number. Tessa, Ryan answered, infuriatingly calm. What do you think you are doing? I demanded. Fixing another mistake, he said. We were over budget, so I adjusted the numbers. You had no right. I had every right, he cut in. This is my project too. Clenched my fist. Meet me in the atrium in 10 minutes. We are settling this now. I am looking forward to it, he said, then hung up. I stared at my phone, fury buzzing under my skin. Somehow, someway, Ryan Carter was going to regret crossing me. The lights flickered once, then twice, and then the entire room plunged into darkness. I froze, my fingers hovering over my laptop keyboard as a low hum filled the air. Somewhere in the building, backup generators tried to wake up, but nothing around us responded. Great, I muttered. This is exactly what I needed. From across the conference table, Ryan's voice drifted through the dark. You know, this might actually be an improvement. At least now I do not have to see the glare you have been giving me all day. Groaned. Do you ever stop talking? Not when I am having this much fun, he replied. I could hear the smirk. I turned on my phone flashlight, the weak beam cutting through the darkness. Ryan was leaning back in his chair, arms crossed, looking far too relaxed for someone who was supposed to be working. What are you doing just sitting there? Yes. What do you want me to do? Fix the power. He gestured vaguely upward. Last I checked, that is not in my job description. Of course not, I muttered, dialing maintenance. A recorded message told me they were already addressing the issue. Ryan stood and stretched, shadows dancing across his face. Looks like we are stuck here for a while. Hope you cleared your schedule. I ignored him and dug into my bag, pulling out a granola bar. I had skipped dinner, and my stomach was not letting me forget it. You are really going to eat that? He asked. Why not? Because I have something better. He reached into his bag and pulled out a paper sack. The smell of burgers and fries filled the room, and my mouth betrayed me by watering. Is that takeout? Yes. Burgers and fries, he said, holding it up. Want some? I hesitated, pride fighting hunger. Hunger won. Fine, I sighed. But only because I am starving. He slid the container toward me. I took a fry and ate it, the silence stretching between us in a way that felt surprisingly comfortable. So, Ryan said after a while, why do you work so much? I glanced at him. What do you mean? You are always here. Late nights, early mornings. It is like you do not have a life outside this job. I bristled, then answered anyway. I have something to prove. To who? Everyone, I said quietly. My family, my colleagues, myself. He leaned forward. Why? I hesitated. Something about the darkness made it easier. There was a scandal. Years ago, my father lost everything. Our name was dragged through the mud. I have been trying ever since to prove I am not him. That is a lot to carry, he said softly. It keeps me busy. He nodded. My dad was larger than life. This hotel was his dream. He never got to finish it. I think I am trying to make it perfect for him. For a moment, the hum of the generators was the only sound. I did not expect you to be so human, I said. And I did not expect you to admit it. The lights snapped back on, breaking the moment. Well, I said quickly, standing. Back to work. As I reached the door, my phone buzzed. I looked at the screen and froze. Ryan, I said tightly. What is it? Held up my phone. The venue for tomorrow's vendor showcase has been double booked. Do not panic, Ryan said. His phone pressed to his ear as he paced the hotel lobby. Do not panic. I hissed, clutching my clipboard so tightly my knuckles ached. The vendor showcase starts in less than 12 hours, and we do not have a venue. I think panic is not only appropriate, it is deserved. He stopped pacing and looked at me, his expression calm in a way that made me want to shake him. I am working on it. Working on it. I repeated, my voice rising despite myself. What exactly are you doing, Ryan? Because from where I am standing, it looks like you are just walking in circles. He held up a finger, silently asking for patience as he turned back to the call. Yes, I understand the ballroom at your other property is smaller. I am asking if it is available, not perfect. I crossed my arms and tapped my foot against the marble floor, every second feeling like it was ticking louder than the last. When he finally ended the call, he turned back to me. The ballroom at their sister hotel is free. It is smaller, but it will work if we adjust the layout. Adjust the layout. Echoed. That is not a minor tweak, Ryan. That means moving tables, redoing seating charts, and calling every vendor again. Do you have any idea how long that will take? Yes, he said evenly, meeting my gaze without flinching. And we do not have time to debate it. Are you in? Or are you planning to stand there arguing while the clock runs out? I glared at him, frustration tightening my chest. Then I exhaled sharply. Fine, I said. But this is going to take all night. Then let us get started, he replied without hesitation. Hours later, we stood side by side in the newly arranged ballroom, surveying the aftermath of sheer determination and caffeine. The tables were aligned, decorations placed, and every vendor had been notified, some reluctantly, some with impressive patience. It is not bad, I admitted, surprising myself. Ryan smirked. Coming from you, that almost sounds like a compliment. Do not get used to it, I said, though there was no real bite behind the words. My phone buzzed in my hand. I checked the screen and groaned. What now? Ryan asked. The owners want to celebrate our teamwork with a dinner party tonight, I said, making air quotes without shame. Great, he said. Free food. Great, I echoed dryly. More time stuck with you. The dinner party was held in the hotel's rooftop lounge. Fairy lights strung overhead and a live jazz band setting an elegant, carefully curated mood. I nursed a glass of wine, scanning the room the way I always did, looking for problems before they had a chance to grow. Relax, Ryan said, appearing at my side. The crisis is over. You can stop guarding the place like it is under siege. I am not guarding, I said defensively. You kind of are, he said with a grin, taking a sip from his drink. Before I could respond, Mr. Wallace joined us, a faint crease of worry etched into his expression. The owners are not thrilled, he said quietly. They think the atmosphere feels stiff. They want something to loosen people up. Decide. What exactly do they expect? A spontaneous conga line. Ryan's eyes lit up in a way that instantly worried me. No, he said. But we can dance. I stared at him. Excuse me. He set his glass down and extended his hand. Come on. A little dancing will do the trick. I do not dance, I said, instinctively stepping back. You do now, he replied, taking my hand before I could escape and pulling me toward the open space near the band. The music shifted to something slower, smoother. Ryan placed one hand at my waist and took my other hand in his touch steady and surprisingly warm. This is ridiculous, I muttered, glancing around, acutely aware of the audience. Just go with it, he murmured. Trust me. I looked up at him, my heart pounding for reasons that had nothing to do with nerves. I do not trust you. His lips curved into a smug smile. Liar. We moved slowly, almost cautiously, and little by little the noise around us faded. I became aware of the rhythm, the warmth of his hand, the way he adjusted his steps to match mine. "You are not terrible at this," I admitted quietly. "High praise," he said. "You are not bad yourself." The teasing softened. The music swelled. And before I could stop myself, I relaxed against him. "What is happening right now?" I whispered. "I honestly do not know," he said, his expression unreadable. When the song ended and applause filled the terrace, I stepped back quickly, my cheeks warm. I busied myself smoothing my dress, needing something, anything to ground me. "Thanks for that," I said awkwardly. "Anytime," he replied, though his gaze lingered on mine longer than necessary. As the night wound down, I caught myself watching him. The smug confidence I had always associated with Ryan seemed muted now, replaced by something quieter, something more complicated. He noticed and tilted his head. "What?" "Nothing," I said quickly, turning away. But it was not nothing. Later, lying in bed, I replayed the night over and over. Dance. The look in his eyes. The way my chest had tightened when I pulled away. I caught myself smiling. And that scared me more than I wanted to admit. The morning of the final walkthrough for the grand reopening was chaos. I strode into the Lux Harbor ballroom with my clipboard pressed tight against my chest, already bracing myself for last-minute issues. But nothing prepared me for what I saw. Half the centerpieces were missing. The VIP vendor display looked sloppy, like it had been thrown together without a second thought. And the drapes, my stomach dropped when I saw them. The wrong fabric hung across the windows, clashing horribly with the lighting Ryan had designed so carefully. I stopped in my tracks. "What is this?" I asked aloud, even though no one was close enough to answer. Footsteps rushed toward me. Claire appeared a moment later, breathless, clutching a folder to her chest. "Tessa," she said quickly, "I just got off the phone with the vendor coordinator. They said they were told to change the drape order last night." I felt a sharp jolt of alarm. "Change it?" "Yes." "By who?" Claire hesitated, just long enough for dread to creep in. Then she handed me a printed email. I scanned it once, then again. My breath caught in my throat when I saw the sender's name. "Ryan," I said, my voice sharper than I intended. Claire nodded cautiously. "That is what it looks like." My fingers tightened around the paper. Ryan had been the one who insisted on those drapes, who had argued they were essential to the design. And now this email said he had ordered them changed without even telling me. I did not stop to think it through. I turned on my heel and marched down the hall toward his office, anger pounding in my ears. Ryan was bent over his desk when I burst in, sketching adjustments to one of the lobby seating areas like nothing in the world was wrong. I slapped the email onto his desk. "Care to explain this?" He picked up the paper, frowned slightly, then looked up at me. "What is this?" "You tell me," I said, crossing my arms, my tone icy. "Why would you order changes to the drapes without consulting me?" "I did not," he said firmly, standing. "The email says otherwise." I shot back. He scanned the page again, his jaw tightening. "This is not even my writing style. I would never say, urgent priority. That is corporate jargon. That is not me." I shook my head. "Do you expect me to believe this is some kind of mistake?" My voice rose despite my attempt to keep it steady. "The timing is awfully convenient, Ryan. Just when everything was finally coming together." His eyes flashed. "You think I did this on purpose? To sabotage you? Can you blame me for wondering?" said. "You have wanted control of this project from the very beginning." "That is ridiculous," he snapped. "Why would I sabotage an event I have spent months designing?" "I do not know," I said bitterly. "Maybe so you could swoop in, fix everything and look like the hero." He stepped closer, fists clenched at his sides. "You really think that little of me?" The question hit harder than I expected. "I do not know what to think," I admitted, my voice shaking with frustration. His expression hardened. Maybe you should look at your own mistakes before pointing fingers at me. My mistakes? He echoed, stunned. Yes, he said sharply. You are so busy micromanaging everything that you do not trust anyone else to do their job. Maybe this mess happened because you are stretched too thin. The words landed like a slap. I opened my mouth to respond, but nothing came out. He shook his head slowly. I thought we were starting to work as a team. Clearly, I was wrong. You are not the victim here, I said finally, my voice low but fierce. You do not get to act like this is all on me. He grabbed the email off the desk and crumpled it in his hand. Believe whatever you want, Tessa. But I am done trying to prove myself to you. He walked past me, his shoulder brushing mine as he left the office. I stood there long after he was gone, my heart pounding, my thoughts spiraling. Part of me wanted to believe him, wanted to believe the email was some kind of mistake. But the evidence was right there in black and white, and my instincts were screaming at me not to ignore it. Still, the doubt would not go away. Across the hotel, Ryan paced an empty lounge, anger and hurt colliding inside him. I did not see it, but I felt the fallout all the same. Whatever fragile understanding we had built now felt shattered. What neither of us knew, what I could not have imagined, was that Claire stood alone in the ballroom, her phone clenched tightly in her trembling hands. On her screen was the email she had forged, Ryan's name at the top. Please let this work, she whispered to herself. I sat alone in my office, staring at the crumpled email printout on my desk. I had already read it a dozen times, but something about it still felt wrong. A detail I could not quite name kept tugging at the back of my mind. I flipped through my notes, cross-referencing dates, vendors, and timelines, my unease deepening with every connection that lined up too neatly. Then my eyes landed on a page from the vendor meeting last week. Claire's handwriting. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered, the word barely leaving my lips. The realization hit all at once. Claire had been the one coordinating the final details with the drape vendor. She had access to my email templates. She had sat beside me long enough to know how I structured messages, what tone I used when something was urgent. My chest tightened as the pieces fell into place. I was already on my feet before I consciously decided to move. Claire was in the common workspace, laughing quietly with another assistant, when I stormed in. Claire! My voice cut through the room, sharp enough to make her flinch. She turned toward me, the color draining from her face. Yes? She asked too quickly. I held up the crumpled email. Explain this. Now. Her eyes flicked to the paper. Her hands began to tremble. I do not know what you mean. You sent this, I said, keeping my voice low with effort. Did you really think I would not figure it out? Did you think I would not notice? Her composure shattered. I was trying to help, she blurted out, the words tumbling over each other. The original drape order was delayed. The vendor said they could not meet the deadline, and I panicked. I thought if I just made a quick change. Without telling me. Cut in. Tears welled in her eyes. I thought you would fire me. I did not mean to mess things up this badly. She took a shaky breath, trying to steady herself. I stared at her, anger and pity twisting together inside me in a way I hated. You have no idea what kind of damage you caused, I said quietly. Do you know who I accused of sabotaging this entire project because of your mistake? Her voice barely worked. Ryan. He nodded. He could lose his professional reputation because of this. The words tasted bitter in my mouth. Because it was not just her mistake. It was mine too. Later, as I walked toward Ryan's office, every step felt heavier than the last. I did not know what version of him I would find. Angry, cold, or worse, indifferent. I knocked lightly on the open door. Ryan, what do you want? He did not look up at first. When he did, his expression gave nothing away. I owe you an apology, I said. I stepped inside, clutching the wrinkled email like proof of my failure. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossing over his chest. Go on. I found out who really sent the email, I said. It was Claire. She panicked and tried to fix a delay without telling me. I should never have accused you. He studied my face for a long moment, then let out a slow breath. I heard you have been covering for her mistakes for weeks. And blinked. How did you? Miller, he said simply. I lowered my gaze. I did not want her to lose her job over a few rookie errors. I thought I could manage it. I thought I could carry everything myself. And instead, he said, standing, you let me take the fall. The truth stung because it was fair. I was wrong, I said quietly. He walked toward me, stopping just short of arm's length. You should have told me. We are supposed to be a team. I know, I said. I thought being strong meant handling everything alone. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The tension between us felt different now. Less sharp, still fragile. Then he extended a hand. Truce. I hesitated only a second before taking it. Truce. We still have a reopening to save, he said. Together. He nodded. Together. We shared a small, tentative smile, one that did not erase what had happened, but acknowledged it. Before either of us could say more, the doorway filled with a familiar figure. I think you should see this, Claire said, her voice shaking as she held up her phone. Ryan and I exchanged a glance. Whatever fragile piece we had just built was about to be tested again. The grand reopening of the Lux Harbor Hotel shimmered exactly the way we needed it to. Soft lights reflected off crystal glasses. Laughter floated easily through the ballroom. Everything worked. Every detail landed. And yet, as I moved through the crowd, smiling and greeting guests, I felt oddly distant, like I was watching the night unfold from just outside myself. This was supposed to feel like victory. Tessa. I turned to see Claire standing beside me, hands folded nervously in front of her. She had not been the same since the email incident. Quieter, careful. You did it, she said softly. I shook my head. We did it. Her shoulders relaxed a little at that. Thank you. Now go enjoy yourself, I added. You earned it. She smiled, relief flooding her face, and disappeared into the crowd. I exhaled and turned, and that was when I saw Ryan. He stood near the stage, jacket open, posture loose in a way I had never seen before. No tension, no sharp edges, just him, quietly observing the room like he finally trusted it not to collapse. I took a breath and walked over. Enjoying the victory lap? Yes. He smirked. If you mean I am relieved nothing caught fire, then yes. I laughed before I could stop myself. The tension between us felt different tonight. Lighter, earned. Tessa, he said, his tone shifting. There is something I need to tell you. Before I could respond, one of the hotel owners stepped in, all smiles and champagne energy. Miss Reed. Mr. Carter. Congratulations, he said. This is exactly what we hoped for. The balance is perfect. You two make a great team. Thank you, I said, steady and professional. Ryan nodded politely, but his eyes flicked back to mine, like the conversation was unfinished. When the owner moved on, Ryan leaned closer. Can we step outside? I hesitated for half a second. Then I nodded. The terrace was cool, the night air brushing against my skin as the sound of the ocean wrapped around us. The music from inside faded into something distant and unimportant. We stopped at the railing. Waited. You know, Ryan said slowly, I have been doing this job for years thinking I had everything figured out. And now? I asked, crossing my arms. He turned toward me, and for once there was no shield in his expression. Now I know I was wrong. I stayed silent. Working with you has been different, he continued. Frustrating, yes, but also inspiring. Inspiring, echoed. He let out a quiet laugh. You challenge me. You care. About the work. About people. You pushed ideas I would have dismissed before. And it made me rethink a lot. My heart started beating faster, but I kept my voice light. So you are saying I made you better? Something like that, he said, a small, almost shy smile appearing. But it is more than that. You made me want to be better. Someone you could trust. Someone you... Ryan, I interrupted, my voice betraying me. He stepped closer, eyes locked on mine. I care about you, Tessa. More than I expected. More than I planned. My chest tightened. I had seen this coming. Felt it creeping in every late night and unguarded moment. Still, hearing it out loud changed everything. I started. Wait, he said gently, pulling something from his pocket. It was a folded piece of paper. These are your original design notes, he said. From the first week. My breath caught. I thought they were too much back then, he admitted. But now, I looked around, and suddenly I saw it. The lantern placement, the floral flow, the seating arrangement, the warmth layered beneath the clean lines. All of it. You did this, I whispered. He nodded. I wanted you to know I trust you. Your vision, your instincts. This place feels alive because of them. My walls collapsed all at once. I do not know what to say, I admitted. Say you feel the same, he said, hopeful and unsure. I stepped closer. I do. The smile that spread across his face was slow and real. His hand brushed mine. I tilted my face up, and when our lips met, the world narrowed to that single moment. The kiss was not perfect. It was tentative at first, careful. Then it deepened, steady and sure, like a promise neither of us needed to say out loud. When we pulled back, my forehead rested against his. You are impossible, I murmured. And you love it, he said, grinning. I laughed softly. This is going to be interesting. He took my hand, his grip firm. As long as it is with you, I am all in. I squeezed his hand. Then let us see where this goes. Together. As the sound of the celebration drifted back to us, I knew this was not an ending. In 30 days, hate had turned into something fragile and real. And for the first time in a long time, I was ready to see what came next.